Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. A top indie star who is called the next big superstar in wrestling delivered a heartwarming message to Jacob Fatu's brother. Fatu is a real-life member of the Bloodline and the son of Sam Fatu, the twin brother of WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. Hoka, the Hybrid King, is a popular star currently performing for Reality of Wrestling and Gremlin House Wrestling, among other promotions. He's a half Samoan, half Tongan wrestler who bears a striking resemblance to Roman Reigns and has even been compared to the tribal chief. In an interview with Muscleman Malcolm, Hoka revealed that he recently met with Journey Fatu at a wrestling event. He was nothing but grateful to Jacob Fatu's younger brother for the knowledge he had already shared in their brief interaction. Muscleman Malcolm dubbed Hoka as the next big superstar in wrestling. While he does have the size and charisma to make it big, being compared to Roman Reigns is a huge compliment. Jacob Fatu had to go through the independent circuit for years before WWE finally came calling last year. He's on track to become one of the top stars of the company, if his performance since his first appearance is anything to go by. The match card for WrestleMania 41 continued to take shape last Friday on SmackDown. Jacob Fatu defeated Braun Strowman in a hellacious last man standing match to become the No. 1 contender for the United States Championship. LA Knight might be the defending champion, but he will have his hands full against the Samoan Werewolf. Fatu has not been pinned since making his WWE debut last June. This will be the first WrestleMania appearance for Fatu, while Knight will have his second bout at the Showcase of the Immortals after his win against AJ Styles last year. Juan Pablo David has been covering all things WWE for Sportskeeda since 2020 and has 8 years of experience in content writing. He holds a degree in agriculture but has been a fan of pro wrestling since a kid. This love for the entertainment sport led him to write about it. Juan writes well-researched articles not only to ensure that he presents readers with correct facts and figures, but also because he wants to learn as much as possible about the topics he writes about. Edge is Juan's all-time favorite wrestler. He grew up watching Edge and Christian and was a huge fan of their tag team. So much so that if he could go back in time, he would manage the duo and let them know that he can play their entrance themes with a kazoo. Besides wrestling, Juan loves to watch NBA or a Dortmund game. He also enjoys watching TV and movies during his free time. He works as a writer in SK's basketball division. In professional wrestling, lineage is more than legacy. It's a launching pad. For decades, we've seen greatness passed from generation to generation, from mentor to protege, from blood to brotherhood. And as the wrestling world continues to evolve, every once in a while, a new face emerges, not just talented, but destined. A new force ready to change the game, not just step into it. Enter Malachi Fatu, the next big superstar in wrestling, and a man who humbly gives credit to one person above all, his brother, Jacob Fatu. While the spotlight is starting to shine brightly on Malachi, he's the first to step aside and say, "I wouldn't be here without Jacob." And that brotherly bond, born in the trenches of family tradition, forged in backyards and small arenas, and tested in the heat of adversity, is what makes Malachi not just a future champion, but a future legend. Let's take a look at how the wrestling world is waking up to Malachi Fatu, and how Jacob Fatu's shadow wasn't a weight, but a guiding light. The Fatu name is royalty in wrestling, from the legendary Rikishi to the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and of course, Roman Reigns. The Anoa'i family tree is practically an oak of champions. Jacob Fatu made his name the hard way, not by relying on his legacy, but by carving a violent, passionate, and raw path through the independents and NLW, where he reigned as a monstrous champion. And in the background, watching from ringside or the locker room door, was Malachi. I remember sitting in the back, watching Jacob tear it up in front of 1,000 screaming fans. Malachi said in a recent interview, he didn't have pyro, he didn't have a Titantron, but he had presence. He made you believe, and I thought, I want that. I'd want to earn that. What makes Malachi special isn't just his last name, it's the respect he carries for it. Where some might have coasted on family fame, Malachi took Jacob's example and treated it like gospel. He trained harder, studied longer, stayed quieter. He didn't post for clout. He posted to grow. And now, it's showing. Malachi Fatu isn't a clone of his brother, but you can see the DNA. He's explosive like Jacob, with sudden bursts of power that leave crowds gasping. But he's also deliberate, more calculated, almost surgical in his precision. Think Samoa Joe mixed with early Roman Reigns, with a splash of Jacob's chaotic energy. He's built like a linebacker and moves like a welterweight. Leaping lariats, corner splashes, and a spine buster that feels like it cracks the ring in half. But his most devastating move, a running somersault senton he calls the Samoan Eclipse, a tribute to Jacob's wild style, but with a signature twist that's all his own. The fans are taking notice. His recent debut in NXT sent social media into a frenzy. Clips of him wrecking 2 enhancement talents in under 3 minutes hit over 1 million views in 24 hours. And in the locker room, buzz is building. He's next, one NXT producer said. You just know, some guys need months to find themselves. Malachi walked in already knowing who he was. Despite the rising fame, Malachi Fatu remains grounded. And the root of that grounding is Jacob. He never let me skip steps, Malachi said. Even when people told me I was ready, Jacob made me train longer, wrestle in smaller towns, work different styles. He'd sit down after every match, no matter how tired he was, and break it all down with me. He never treated me like a little brother. He treated me like a student. In an industry that's often about ego and competition, even within families, Jacob Fatu's mentorship of Malachi feels refreshingly selfless. When asked about Malachi's rise, Jacob just smiled and said, "That boy's gonna do bigger things than I ever did. I'm proud just watching him." It's rare to see a star on the rise take a moment to give thanks in every interview, every promo, every match. But Malachi does, because in his eyes, being the next big thing doesn't mean forgetting who lit the path first. So what's next for Malachi Fatu? If WWE is smart, and they usually are when it comes to legacy, they'll build him slow, like they did with Reigns and Solo. Let the crowd get curious. Let the clips go viral. Let the whispers grow louder until there's no denying it. This man isn't just part of the bloodline. He's the next evolution of it. There's talk of a feud brewing between Malachi and Carmelo Hayes, a dream match with Braun Breaker, and eventually, a showdown with Solo Sikoa in a clash of family forces. Modern Samoan warfare for the soul of the dynasty. But Malachi isn't rushing. He's patient, disciplined, hungry. "I'm not here to be a flash," he said. "I'm here to be forever." And when that moment comes, when the main roster lights hit, when the fans chant his name, when he lifts his first championship over his head, there's no doubt what he'll say. This is for Jacob. Wrestling is a world of stories, of rivals, families, struggles, and triumphs. But every once in a while, a story unfolds that feels both epic and intimate. Malachi Fatu's rise is that story. It's not just about being the next superstar. It's about how he's becoming one, with honor, humility, and gratitude to the brother who showed him the way. In a business built on showmanship, Malachi Fatu is the real deal. A man with fire in his fists, legacy in his blood, and love in his heart. And thanks to Jacob Fatu, the wrestling world is about to witness a storm they'll never forget. Let me know if you want this as a narrated script, social media promo, or expanded into a faction storyline.